really wanted what I call a love child. We wanted to adopt. He joined our family on 11/1/11. He was exactly 10 months, and he just came to our home that day, and he has been with us ever since. The adoption took almost 2 years, but he was our first and only foster care placement. About 3 years old, we started realizing just some different behaviors and hyperactivity, so we took him in. He has multiple diagnoses, and it's really been a journey, a few years really, of working with psychiatrists, psychologists, developmental pediatrician, to come up with a whole slew of diagnoses that he has working against him really on any given day at any given moment. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is the biggest one, the overarching one, and then attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity, as well as oppositional defiance disorder, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. Did I say PTSD? Combined with that, he's also gifted and talented from an intellectual perspective. So luckily, he's able to utilize that intellect to help overcome some of the challenges that he has. Statistically, the FASD alone, those kids will end up in the system. And just it's a cyclical journey to get to incarceration ultimately. So that's why we started early advocating and getting to the bottom of it and working with healthcare providers and mental health professionals to get him the help he needed. It was July of last year, and we were at the point where we knew that we weren't equipped to be able to help him because his behaviors were spiraling out of control. But because of that, I went back into advocacy mode. And I started first with his psychiatrist. She recommended that he needed residential treatment. And that was scary for us to think about.
Yeah, I felt like
not caring
like we'd failed him.
For our son in our home. And I started working with Larimer County. They were instrumental in getting us the FAPT referral, which is how we discovered Hearts and Horses.
When we started here at Hearts and Horses, we didn't know what to expect. We were shocked at this kid automatically the first time gets on a horse, and like no fidgeting, he's stoic, he's listening, he's paying attention, he's not squirreling all over the place, you know, looking at things. It was amazing to us, and it was like, wow, this might be the thing that really turns the corner for him. And then even how excited he was to come back.
Yes.
And then come to us.
He said he never wanted to leave.
Right, never wanted to leave. And that he brought up to us that he wanted to figure out how to volunteer so he could be around the horses more.
He said, Mom, I never want to leave there. And it was really the first time that he's ever had his thing. We bought him boots and Wrangler jeans and the whole bit so he could be part of it.
This wasn't something we had remotely even thought about. We were more focused on, you know, the medicine and the psychiatry and the psychology and therapy and a true sense of therapy. We were at the end of our rope. So to be able to come here and see how this works and really how simple it is what makes it so beautiful. You know, it's not this fancy medical building and there's dirt and there's dust and there's horses. It doesn't have to be this overly complex scientific thing, and I'm sure there's science around why this works, but at the end of the day, it's the horse and the rider and the volunteer that makes it work. The whole transformation is amazing. That really, we've seen it across the board, and other people that interact with him isn't just mom and dad saying, wow, this is great, but school, totally different kid. Everywhere, people will come up to us and say, man, like he has really made a lot of progress, you know? And so, again, it's all of that stuff working together that has really made it work. And this is one really important piece to him because he loves it so much, right? It gives him that motivation to kind of stay on the straight and narrow, and it's because it means so much to him and it does so much for him. I think just loves to come here. He would come every day, literally, if he could.